In our previous class, we learned about tracking. We imported a video from our drive and used tracking feature within Motion and added some elements to that video and utilize the power of tracking. In this video, we are going to work on 3D cameras, which is another powerful feature that Motion has, how we can actually use our canvas through 3D cameras, tracking, keyframe animation, and everything all together to create something very beautiful. Let's jump into 3D cameras and see what they are. This is what we were able to actually achieve with motion tracking within Motion software. You can see that I'm following the car. Entire banner or this element is attached to this car, which we actually tracked. And it's a very beautiful way of utilizing this feature. You can use it on a lot of different things. This was just an introduction. You can use this to get to a lot of different places when it comes to creativity and imagination. A couple of other videos that we actually made. One was this light video that we worked on. You can see that it was basic animation. We just moved the light from one place to another, and that gave us sort of a very interesting thing. So we used keyframes in that one as well. One of our first animation that we actually did was this rocket that was flying, and we added another element also. So these are some basic things that we were doing in 2D animation, where we brought in a lot of things and we were able to do that. I'm sure you have done that. If you have completed one of these projects while doing this class, I would highly encourage you to actually share those projects so that other people can get motivation and inspiration from your project. Be creative, you can do anything. And then we actually did this. We used lights, we used text animation as well. You can see our text is from opacity 0 to 100%, and then lights come on, and then we have our plane flying. And these are some of the things we've slowly been able to actually do using the interface and all that. In this video, we are going to introduce 3D cameras and how those 3D cameras can affect your creativity, how it can be beneficial to whatever you're doing. So let's open our project and see what we have. I'm just gonna delete everything that is here, select and delete, so we get a blank canvas that we have. I'm going to expand our timeline to 29 or 30 seconds, which we can see here. Okay, what I want to do here is I want to start with text, for example. Okay, let's start with hello. Okay, I can double click on this and increase the size. Okay, and press escape and then move it somewhere here. All right, remember I'm in text, I can change anything. I'm using flat brush font. You can use any font that you like, but I think for the sake of this example, I mean, this font looks really amazing for me. All right, great. So we have this font now, and this font is all the way straight. So we've got our elements here. Let's rename this group to text. All right, great. So now we know that we have text coming all the way here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add another object, just like we added lights. I'm going to add a camera in this instance. All right. It's asking me to convert this to 3D. Let's just do that and see what we have. Okay. Now my camera is added here, and you can see that there are some new controls that we have here. We have 1, 2, 3. We have different controls here. Now, if I click on this one and drag up and down, you can see that I am moving in 3D space and my canvas is giving me the location. What is happening is that the camera that we attach on top of this text is being moved in different places, and we are able to actually see the impact. For example, you can add keyframes and start from here and then all of a sudden do a quick jump and then move it here. So you can do a lot of things with these cameras that we have. Another feature we have is this one. So I will just rotate. You can see you can always rotate all the way if you want. Okay, how great is that? It's amazing. All right, next feature we have is this button where we can zoom in and out. So that's more like dolly movement. You can get close to the subject and then go away from the subject and all that. And you can combine all these together and create something really, really amazing. So what we're going to do is we are going to work on so I'm going to click on the camera and get rid of all the changes, go back to default, right? So I'm going to click on that, which is the camera here in our inspector pane. I'm going to click on the camera properties, and I'm gonna right click here and reset parameters. All right, great. Now nothing has been done. So what I want to do is I actually want to maybe I want to start by maybe somewhere here. That is where I want to start. And let's say I move this somewhere here like that. Okay, great. So let's put a keyframe here, somewhere here. So I'm going to put it in XY. Remember, we are also moving in XY. This is 3D space, so we are moving in XY and also rotation. So I'm gonna have to do that for both. I'm gonna put keyframes for both rotation and position. I'm gonna move somewhere here, 3 seconds, and now I want to, let's say, move here. Okay, let's see what we get. Play. There you go. I'm moving. I am moving. The text is moving, the dimensions are moving, everything is moving with it. When you do the final export, you will not see this grid. This grid is just for our reference. Okay, now that is what we have. And now I want to actually stop here and zoom in. What you can do is you need to give a reference to motion software, like where do you want it to begin from. So let's say I create another keyframe somewhere here. For example, 1 and 2. Remember, I have my keyframe which comes and stops here. Now I'm going to create another keyframe with the same properties, with the same thing here. Now this will be my stopper or freeze frame, and from here I'm going to animate something else. So let's say I go 2 seconds further. Now I want to actually dolly in like that. So now we get this. There you go. So we are coming in and then zooming in like that. It's great. It's a great feature. All right, great. So we were able to actually do that very, very smoothly. Let's share this project and see what we get. Okay, so now, like I said, we will not see the grids. Let's see what we get. We have hello, and then we are moving in space and then zooming in a little bit. Right? That is just a basic example of what is possible with these cameras. You can always use these cameras to zoom in and zoom out. Let's remove these keyframes and see what we can do. I'm gonna add another camera. I deleted that camera. Let's Control Z. I'm gonna press on this camera and remove this, and now I'm gonna create a new camera. And this time I actually want the camera to be far away, like really far. I'm gonna play with this quite a lot. Okay, that is where my hello is. I'm gonna start there. I'm gonna go into properties and I'm gonna create a keyframe on position and rotation. Remember, we are moving in all 3D space. I'm going to go somewhere on 3 seconds like that. And this time I am going to zoom in. You must have seen those effects that you actually see on TV, right? Let's move it a little bit here in the center like that, and zoom in a little bit more, and maybe like that. Okay, so now we have something like this. I can always, maybe I want this to happen in 1 second. I don't want it to. You can be like that. All right, this is just camera zooming in and zooming out. And I'm just playing with the camera and the elements are just there in my video. I can do the same thing with an image also, or any other object. It will work exactly the same way, but let's share this and see what we get. Okay, let's play. There you go. Not bad. It isn't bad at all. You can see that it looks pretty decent. Now this is just basics of cameras. Another thing that you need to understand is once you are in this space, you can, because we are in a 3D environment, so you can click on this option here, active camera, and then you can click on perspective and it will give you different views. So this is the camera view that is actually getting, and you can see that the camera is actually moving as we keyframed it. It'll be nice to see it from the front. This is how the camera looks, and let's look at the back. Okay, and let's look at the left side. Okay, that is where our text is. So you see our camera is actually moving in its space. You can see it's from back, zooming in all the way and then stopping there. So that's where we get our options. This is our camera, right? And if I go to my active camera, this one, and this is what the camera was doing. The camera was going all the way back, and then it dollied in on this particular object that we had. Okay, let's go back to the right side, and you can see the same thing is happening here. So that is one way of working with cameras, and it has a lot of potential. You can do a lot of things. You can use multiple cameras and move between those cameras, and you can do a lot of great things. That is the basics of cameras. In our next video, we will bring in the video that we have created with our plane